There was a boy named Daniel. From a very young age, Daniel carried the weight of expectations on his shoulders. His father wanted him to be an engineer. His mother wanted him to be a doctor. And his friends expected him to always be the funny one, the one who made everyone laugh. But inside, Daniel felt lost. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he wanted. Every time he looked in the mirror, he saw a face that was trying to please everyone but himself. At school, Daniel worked hard to fit in. He studied late into the night, not because he loved it, but because he was terrified of disappointing his parents. He cracked jokes all day long, not because he was happy, but because he didn't want his friends to see the sadness buried deep inside him. The truth, Daniel had no idea who Daniel really was. He lived his life in comparison. He compared himself to the students who scored higher. He compared himself to the athletes who were stronger. He compared himself to the popular kids who seemed more confident. And with every comparison, his heart grew heavier. One night, after failing a math exam he had studied so hard for, Daniel sat alone in his room. His parents were disappointed. His friends were busy with their own lives. And for the first time, Daniel allowed himself to ask the question he had been avoiding for years. Who am I living for? That question stayed with him. The next morning, instead of jumping right into the books, he took a long walk in the park. He saw a street artist sketching portraits. People were lining up, laughing as they saw their faces come to life on paper. Something inside Daniel stirred. He remembered that when he was a child, he used to love drawing. He would spend hours with crayons, filling pages with colors, creating worlds only he could see. But as he grew older, people told him drawing was a waste of time. You can't make a living out of it, they said, and slowly he abandoned his passion. But now, watching the street artist, Daniel felt alive again. He bought a sketchbook that very evening. He sat at his desk and began to draw. His hands were shaky at first, but soon lines began to form shapes, and shapes became faces. For the first time in years, Daniel felt peace. He kept drawing every day. At first, he hid his sketches, afraid people would laugh. But eventually, he shared a portrait with his best friend. To his surprise, his friend didn't laugh. He was amazed. Daniel, this is incredible. Why didn't you ever show us this side of you? Those words changed everything. Daniel realized something powerful. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. The world needs the real you, the you who comes alive when you do what you love. So Daniel began to live differently. He still studied, but he no longer allowed grades to define his worth. He spent more time sketching, even taking small jobs, drawing portraits for people. And with every drawing, he discovered himself a little more. The comparisons didn't stop overnight. Sometimes, he still looked at others and felt he wasn't enough. But now, instead of drowning in those thoughts, he reminded himself, I don't need to be better than them. I need to be me. Years later, Daniel became a well-known illustrator. His art touched thousands of people across the world. But more importantly, Daniel found himself. He no longer lived to please his parents, his friends, or society. He lived to express his truth. And whenever someone asked him, how did you find your purpose? Daniel would smile and say, I stopped asking who I was supposed to be and started embracing who I already was.